Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
And hello and welcome to episode number 156 of Mets Musings. Hope everybody had a great week out there. And yes, I am flying solo again this week. Had a couple of guys that thought could make it, but unfortunately other things occurred. And hey, that's what happens in life, you know? We're not professionals. We're not making any money off of this, and people have to do what they have to do in this game. So, no guests tonight, but we're here, and there's a lot of stuff to cover, and a lot of things going on in the minor leagues that I think is very fascinating. I'll have to see. We're going to cover that a little bit later as well. Let's start tonight by giving our condolences to the Gwynn family, as Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn passed away this past week at the age of 54. And Tony Gwynn was perhaps the best hitter that I've ever seen play the game. I hated the guy. Hated the guy because he always seemed to get a hit against the Mets in a tough spot. But boy, what a terrific ball player, and what a terrific man. From all that that you read and hear about him throughout his career, not just now. I can't say I ever met him, but I did see him play numerous times, and as I said, hated the man because he was such a good hitter, but just a pure the hitting machine. And you know, he was a pretty decent outfielder too. He wasn't known for that at all, but really sad to see another great of the game pass away and leave us at a very young age, a young man of 54 years old. We lost Bob Welch a couple of weeks ago and Don Zimmer a few weeks ago. And it's just, I guess it's a sign of getting older that these guys start to pass. And just a shame. And again, our condolences go out to his family. All right, the Mets take 2 out of 3. Took 2 out of 3. We wish they took 2 out of 3. They lost 2 out of 3 to the St. Louis Cardinals. This is a team that's still struggling to score. You know, they get leads in a lot of these games. They jump out in front and get a lead, but for whatever reason, they just can't seem to hold it. And these other teams just keep hitting. The Cardinals beat them with doubles and triples. And look, I know we need the offense, and Abreu was providing some of that, but he's killing us out in right field. You cannot play him in a big ballpark. You just can't. He killed us in St. Louis. Doubles, triples down there in the corners. And, you know, the Mets should watch the way the Cardinals play baseball, how they hit the ball. Opposite field, ground balls, put the ball in play, and something can happen. This is what they need to do, this team. And never mind about the big pitches and trying to hit the ball. Can we stop trying to jack everything out of the ballpark? Let's score some runs. The other day, St. Louis scored 5 runs, did not have a home run in the game. They just kept boom, boom, bang, bang. And they kept running around the bases. And that's what the Mets need to do. And they start a series tonight against the Miami Marlins in Miami. And Miami, look, Miami's got a pretty good team. They're in the race. They're going for the division this year. And they're at home where they play fantastic. They have a great home record. And it's not going to be an easy series. But let's hope for the best. They play 4 with Miami. I'll settle for 2. 2 out of 4 I will take. All right, in other Mets news, of course, Eric Young Jr. rejoined the club the other evening. Andrew Brown was sent down. After yesterday's game in St. Louis, the Mets promoted outfielder Kirk Neuenhuis from Vegas, and to make room for him, they sent down Matt Dendecker. Travis d'Arnaud may be back with the Mets by the middle of next week when the team faces the A's at Citi Field, an organizational source said. And Lagares, I can't even talk today. Juan Lagares declined batting practice this past Monday in Port St. Lucie as he continues to work his way back from a strained right intercostal. Another one with the intercostals. And he also recently began throwing, running, hitting from a tee. He also participated in a simulated game on Wednesday in Port St. Lucie, and I believe also participated in a simulated game today. The Mets believe that Lagares, who was placed on the disabled list on June 2nd, will be able to return next week. And if they get Lagares back and d'Arnaud back and he start hitting, it could be like a burst of fresh air to this team and perhaps help them make a run. Maybe that's what they need. And Jeremy Hefner, who had Tommy John surgery last August, is making strides in his recovery. Hefner threw 25 pitches on Wednesday in Port St. Lucie and is on track to throw his first official bullpen session on Sunday. The Mets non-tendered Hefner last winter, but quickly re-signed him to a minor league deal. If Hefner continues to progress as he has, he could be ready to return by the end of the summer. And sometimes when these guys come back from an injury, it's like getting making a deal and getting somebody in a trade because they're fresh and they've been here, but they're still different. They're coming fresh for the year, and it'll be interesting to see. Sometimes that can give a team a boost. Sometimes it's a showcase type deal. So they can showcase him to try to move him over the winter, and they have to re-sign him. He's signed to a minor league deal. But it's good news on Jeremy Hefner. In first stretch there last year, he was one of their best pitchers. And let's hope he makes it and comes back. They need guys like that, bulldog type of guys that don't give in and don't have the greatest stuff. Aren't throwing 100 miles an hour or 95 miles an hour, but are fighters and good pitchers. And the Mets said they will revisit making changes to the outfield dimensions of Citi Field in the offseason. Mets GM Sandy Alderson told a select group of season ticket holders during an on-field Q&A this past Saturday. As I said earlier, when we improved our outfield defense last year, we got much better in this ballpark. And so I think that was one example of how we have adapted, Alderson explained. However, changing the ballpark is not a panacea for not hitting with men in scoring position. It's not going to change our rate of singles that we hit with a man at second base. And when I suggest that we look at dimensions of the ballpark, it doesn't mean that I think that's the solution. It's just part of the equation. And I have to agree with him. It's not going to solve all the problems. But what it's going to do is it's going to take away that idea that they have to drive the ball a country mile to get it in the gap or to get a home run. This is my belief. If they think, they can... If the fences look shorter, then hopefully they'll drive the ball better and go back. I think David Wright changed his complete way of hitting in Citi Field, and he's completely different. His power was in right center, and now he's not driving the ball there with any consistency like he used to. So it really is something they have to look at, and I don't know why they did this in the first place. This stadium should have been built with the team in mind, with David Wright in mind, with a Jose Reyes in mind at the time. That's how you build it. You build it for the team that you have, and you try to build a team to fit that, not build a stadium because it reminds you of your childhood stadium. And to be honest, if Wilpon built this to look like Ebbets Field, he's got it looking like it on the outside. The inside looks nothing like it at all. That was a bandbox. Ebbets Field. So why this humongous field and distances, I don't understand. I don't know. But it's built. There's not much they can do about it. But I think to take a serious look, even if you go back to the same dimensions or close to the same dimensions of Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium was a pretty big field, but it didn't seem to psych them out. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the idea of the openness isn't there that was at Shea Stadium because this is closed in. Maybe that throws the hitters for a loop, yet they play in other stadiums that are closed in all over the place. I don't know what it is. There's something about Citi Field. Maybe it's the curse of Carlos Beltran. I don't know. It's just very strange that they're psyched out in this field and have all of these problems. And Blue Jays shortstop Jose Reyes and catcher Josh Thole, former Mets, who were in town this week to take on the Yankees, say they feel bad for David Wright, who continues to struggle through a rebuilding process in Queens. This they told two columnists Anthony Ryba this past weekend. And Thole said the hardest thing in the baseball world, in my opinion, is to play in New York for the Mets. Everything is a story there. Reyes, Thole, and the Blue Jays are 40-30 and in first place in the American East. I don't know if they felt this bad last year when Toronto was last or next to last, when they weren't playing well. It seems like a little bit of gloating at this point, and I do not like when people say things after they leave a team. It's not right. It's not professional. And look, they can feel bad for David Wright, but is it all this necessary? And it just makes them look bad because they are in first place now and may not be for long, but they are right now as we speak. And I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Okay, we're going to take a break, and but before we do, I'd like to introduce a new podcast that I'm doing. It's called Cyclones Fevercast, and right now it's just in the testing stage. It is available at, I don't really know. It's available at cyclonesfevercast.blogspot.com, and it's all about the Brooklyn Cyclones, a short A team in the New York Penn League, the affiliate of the New York Mets. So having a blast with it. And I'd like to remind everybody about my other show that I co-host with my good friend Rich Baxter, and that is MLB This Week. It's available every Sunday at MLBThisWeek.com. And look for the live event on YouTube as we record it live and broadcast the video. It's a video show that you can watch. Also, you can listen to the audio version. That's available on baseballtalkradio.com and at mlbthisweek.podomatic.com and, of course, on iTunes. All right, take a break and be back after this.
Are you a fan of the NBA and Major League Baseball? Would you like a sports show dedicated primarily to just that? Plus, we throw in a little fantasy baseball and basketball just for good measure. Featuring credentialed sports journalists, the guys who sit on press row, we bring you the stories that you want to hear. To check us out, please visit us at philnasons.com or on Twitter at FlashTennis31.
You can now hear our show while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. On-demand news, talk, and more on your mobile phone. The latest episode is always available for you. No syncing needed and no memory or storage wasted. Available for your iPhone, Android phone, WebOS phone, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out your app store. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio. Mets Musings is an unofficial, independent podcast covering New York's National League Baseball team. It is not affiliated in any way with Major League Baseball or the New York Mets. 516-619-6341. That is the voicemail comment hotline. If you'd like to be a part of the show, give us a call, 516-619-6341. Leave a voicemail, and we'll be happy to play it on the show. Or if you prefer, go to the website, MetsMusings.com, and there's a big banner there. You can just click on that, talk into your microphone, and leave a voice message that way. Or if you're kind of old-fashioned, you can drop us an email. We love getting emails, so please drop us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. And don't forget the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1. The Facebook page is MetsMusings. And be sure to check out my good friend Mike from San Francisco's Grubby Glove is his blog, and he runs the Facebook page, Met Fans That Support Brian Stowe. So go check that out and join that, and you won't be disappointed. All right, and let's take a look at the farm report. As I said, no guest this week, but lots of things going on the farm for the New York Mets. The following players have been promoted from St. Lucie to Binghamton. Center fielder Brandon Nimmo. Starting pitcher, left-handed pitcher Steven Matz. Infielder TJ Rivera. Second baseman, shortstop Dilson Herrera. And relief pitcher Randy Fontanez. A.J. Mazzilli and Gavin Cecchini have moved from Savannah to Port St. Lucie, the St. Lucie Mets, and there's a couple others that I forgot to jot down, but there's an infielder moving from Binghamton to Vegas, and of course, when you start pulling players, they open up spots for younger players, and there's quite a move on, and just for instance, a smart move with Steven Matz. He started the year at St. Lucie in Florida in the warm weather. Didn't have to play in those Binghamton 30-degree days in April. Now it's June. They bring him to Binghamton. Let's see what he could do. Same thing for Brandon Nimmo. Let's see if he can hit at that level. They always say to scouts and organizations say, the biggest leap is from advanced single A or single A in general to double A, because there's some older players at double A, and that's where the competition really, really heats up. So this is important things, important move for Brandon Nimmo and Dilson Herrera as well. And A.J. Mazzilli and Gavin Cecchini moving another level up to St. Lucie, and that's an interesting thing because they played together in Brooklyn. They went to Savannah together, and now they're going to St. Lucie. What does it mean? I don't know. It may mean absolutely nothing, but A.J. Mazzilli is another second baseman, and Cecchini is the shortstop and a number one pick from 2012. No word on Dominic Smith moving. I'm not sure if he's going, but he's only 18 years old. Cecchini is 20. Mazzilli is a little older because he was a college kid, so he might be 24. But a lot of movement going on in the minors, and it's interesting to see. Does it mean anything? I don't know. It could mean that they're looking at a lot of different things. Could affect if they try to make a trade, because who do they have a year or two away? Can they use a stopgap for a year? For instance, if they traded a Daniel Murphy, can they use somebody like an Eric Young or Wilmer Flores, give him a shot there for a year or two until they can get somebody else ready? Or is there somebody at AAA that they can use to get them ready? I don't know. I just found it interesting that there was a lot of musical chairs going on in the minors this day, or this week, I should say. And let's see how it all pans out. But I hope good luck to Brandon Emo, Dilson Herrera, TJ Rivera, Randy Fontanez, and Steven Matz as they progress to Binghamton. So big move for them. Now, depending on who you read or who you listen to, the Mets have agreed to terms with outfielder Michael Conforto, the club's first-round selection in this past month's draft. Conforto was used one of the best overall hitters in the draft. He is expected to begin his Mets career in short season A-ball with the Brooklyn Cyclones. However, a later tweet from Conforto said he did not sign. So, a little bit of confusion on this. Did he or did he not sign? I think it's pretty close to a done deal, and that he will sign, and that we will see him in Brooklyn probably within a week, maybe even sooner. But Michael Conforto looks like he's going to come into the fold. The only thing, his agent is Scott Boras, so you never know. All right, and Noah Syndergaard, Thor, the big right-handed pitching prospect, returned from the disabled list, tossed 4 innings Monday night for AAA Las Vegas. He allowed 4 runs, 7 hits, walked 1, and struck out 3 batters while adhering to a strict 75-pitch limit. And congratulations to Hansel Robles for being named the pitcher of the week. In his first start of the season on June 9th, Robles was just all right in 6 innings of work. He allowed 3 earned runs and just 3 hits, but one of them was a home run, and he walked 3 as well. He did strike out 6, however, to make his stat line look more attractive. It was Robles' second start of the week, however, that earned him our pitcher of the week honors. He cruised through 7 innings on June 14th, allowing 3 hits and issuing just 1 free pass this time around. He was very efficient as he kept his pitch count low and only struck out 5 batters in this one. So congratulations to Hansel Robles. And let's see, Mets right-handed pitching prospect Rafael Montero was pulled out of the game last Saturday. Frightening thought. But he's been diagnosed with a strained left oblique. There is no word whether he will be placed on a disabled list, but it seems likely. He was inconsistent with his time with the Mets, struggled in his first 2 starts back in AAA before exiting his 3rd start after just 1 batter. So maybe this was bothering him sooner, and he did not tell anybody. I don't know. But the injuries continue to mount. At least it's not any kind of major surgery. Something he can come back with. And let's hope it's quick and he can get back on track. This is the other epidemic in baseball, and it was more so, last year. Another ball player has to get Tommy John surgery, a catcher. Matt Wieters of Baltimore Orioles will be getting that. So between Tommy John surgeries and the lat muscles now and the obliques and the intercostals, man, I don't know. I think these guys are just in too good a shape, and it's causing a lot of problems. And not that I think they should come in way out of shape and all of that kind of thing, but I think they're working these core muscles too much, and it's really hurting them in the long run. All right, that's going to wrap the show up for this week, so hope you like it, and going to try to get a guest on for our next show, lining some people up for the next couple of weeks. Keep your fingers crossed, because then you don't have to listen to me. But until then, the Mets have 4 with Miami, as I said. Then they have an off day, come home for 2 with Oakland. And don't remember where they go after that. Oh, yes. Then they go to Pittsburgh. All right, but we'll be back before that. So remember, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.